Hey Groves, welcome to your first session together and the opportunity to get to know each other. I hope that you're welcoming anybody who's new, any new faces in your Grove as we get started with the semester. We're going to be going all the way through spring break together, so buckle your seatbelt because I hope it's going to be a great ride. Just want to let you know what we're going to be talking about. Some of you may be scratching your heads going, we have no clue what we're going to be talking about this semester, and maybe you're curious. And I'm pretty excited about this series. I think it's going to be really interesting for you and hopefully, help us really dig into it and dig into God's Word. And I'm titling it, and it may sound a little odd, but I'm calling it A Fisherman's Guide to Overcoming Evil. And kind of the whole basis of this series, it's a follow-up to what we've been talking about with our Forgive series, and it's asking how do we overcome evil with good, and it's asking two people that I think should probably kind of really know what they're talking about. And it's from the perspective of Peter and John. So if you have Peter and John, who were two of Jesus' inner core, these are the guys that spent more time with Jesus than anybody else, and Jesus spent tons of time investing and pouring his life into them, both of them fishermen by trade, and become fishers of men. And you kind of look at Jesus has spent all this time investing in them. They go and they start building the church, and as the church expands for the next 3 decades, with these two kind of going around and checking up on the churches and being at the center of the whole thing, if you could just sit down with them and say, hey, Peter, hey, John, well, how do we, as believers, overcome evil with good? How do we survive in a world that sometimes may be hostile to us? How do we not let evil overcome us and overpower us and overwhelm us? It's like, how do we do that? And I just think that if we read their letters, then we kind of get their insight on how to survive in a hostile world. And so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be looking at excerpts from 1st and 2nd Peter, as well as 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John. And really, we're going to be reading it in our groves. We're going to be discussing it. We're going to have some questions. And hopefully it's going to offer us some insight, some inputs, a survival guide, if you will, to how to overcome evil with good. So that's where we're heading this semester. I hope that kind of sparks your interest. I hope that you're really excited about digging into God's Word as we're going to read, maybe a chapter or a section of a chapter each week together and then discuss kind of what it says and what Peter and John are trying to tell us. And then as we apply it, okay, well, what do we do with this? How do we overcome evil with good based on what Peter and John are sharing? So that's where we're going. We're going a fisherman's guide to overcoming evil as we follow up our Forgive series. So just want to introduce that to you because next week is when we're going to really start diving into it. But this week you have a fellowship week. Hopefully you either already had some fun, already had some dinner together, or you're about to. But again, the goal is for us and our groves to grow together, but also grow in our relationship with Jesus. So that's where we're heading. I hope you guys are off to a great start, and we'll see you next week.